Hey there everyone, welcome to Violet's Dream Tarot. I hope you're doing well. Today's reading is going to be a bit different. I feel like I say that a lot. I feel like I always am saying that every reading is special and unique, which obviously it is, but I do feel as though I try and diversify the kinds of readings that I do quite often. But today the reading is going to be different because we are using the new Russian Gypsy fortune telling cards. Apologies, I'm clearly tongue-tied this morning. And these are these gorgeous new cards. I've wanted them for a very long time. They've been on my wish list for, I would say, a year and a half. So, like, really a very long time, considering I only started the channel 2 years ago. And they have been very kindly donated to the channel by the lovely Cara. So thank you so much, Cara. I am always thanking Cara because she sends in so much to the channel. She is a patron, she is a loyal client, and she has sent many, many donated decks into the channel. So if you do see Cara in the comments, please do show her some love. We've also got the new Aboriginal Aboriginal Dreamtime Oracle, which I just got as a gift from my boyfriend for Valentine's. So we'll be using that as well as the pile marker cards. So the reason why this reading is going to be different is because in order to use these cards, as you can see, they're very different from the usual tarot or oracle cards. You don't just shuffle and pull a few cards from the deck like we would normally with any tarot or oracle deck. You in fact use the entire deck to perform one reading. So what you do is, as you can see, there's 4 half pictures on each card. You lay them out once you've shuffled in rows of 5, and then if any 2 adjacent cards have a picture that could match up, there isn't one on these 2 cards, but there would be with this one. For example, you turn the cards round so that they match up to make a picture, and then you count that picture as part of the reading. So whichever position the picture is landed in, upright, left, right, or downwards, you read it in that position, and that's your reading. And then also the final card, once you've counted all the pictures that have been made, the final card is used and you count all of the pictures, and that summarizes your reading and gives you your outcome. So it's a very different reading. We might end up getting a few extra cards as well if I feel like we need it, but that's what we're doing today. So we are going to be looking into the portal date that is coming up, or which might have just recently passed if you're watching this a while after I've posted. The portal date is the 22nd of February because it is 22 to 22, so it's a palindrome number, which is important in numerology. And so this is a portal time where energy is very heightened, things can change, the collective can experience massive shifts, but so can we also experience that on an individual level. So I am very, very interested and excited to do this reading to see what messages are coming through on a collective level across the piles, but also what messages are coming through for you as an individual. So that's the reading we're doing. Thank you so much again, Cara, for your kindness and your sweetness and your generosity, because you do support this channel an incredible amount. So let's look at the cards more closely, the cards that I've put for pile markers, and we'll read those as part of your reading as well. So on pile 1 we have respect, and you can just ask yourself what's coming in at this portal date, or what changes are happening for me, or what's the energy surrounding the portal date for me. Pile 2 is moon phases. And pile 3 is Earth Mother. So they're all beautiful cards. They're all very different, and very different from other decks that I have as well. I really like this deck already. I like the artwork and the just the style of the deck, and the sort of flavor that it will bring to the channel and to the readings that I do. So please take your time choosing which pile you're feeling drawn towards. If you're feeling drawn to more than one and genuinely can't choose, then do consider watching both of them, but bear in mind that it might only resonate sort of 50-50, or you might end up with one reading being your main reading and then the other one maybe being just a few messages for you. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. As always, it is not a private reading, it is general reading on YouTube, so it has to fit a lot of people's situations. And a big thank you as well, not only to Cara, but also to all of my lovely subscribers and to all of my lovely patrons as well, including Alexandra, Kelly, Joan, Cara, Mia, and Nicole. Thank you for the love that you show to the channel. I will be bringing in some changes on Patreon soon, so if anyone is interested in learning astrology, I think I'm going to be introducing an astrology tier to Patreon as well, and I'll be changing the tiers and pricing a little bit because I haven't touched it in the 2 years that it's been live, and obviously a lot has changed since then. So keep your eyes peeled whether you're a patron or not for the changes that are coming in. And when you're ready, I will be getting started with pile number 1 if you've chosen the respect card. Hi there, Group 1. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the Respect card, we're going to read what this card means and then we're going to get on with your reading. Really excited to use these new cards, and like I said in the introduction, it's going to be very different from the other kinds of readings that I do. So this card says it's a frogmouth owl. I was wondering what kind of creature it was on the front of the card. A frogmouth owl, a wise animal who has a great reputation of forecasting the weather. Okay, so it says someone in authority may be advising you about a situation that is occurring, but their advice is coming from ego and fear. Sometimes people have their own agendas and use others to fight their fights. Listen respectfully to the authority, but do things your own way. You need to find the courage of the dragon and stand up for yourself, and through this you will find the strength to manage many other situations. Okay, so maybe a struggle with an authority figure, or a struggle between balancing the need to listen to someone with listening to your own intuition, or balancing the need to take on everyone's perspectives whilst also doing what you feel is right in a particular situation. So I think what I'm going to have to do now, Group 1, is just move the gnomes because, as I said, you've got to lay out these cards 5 in a row, and I don't think I'm going to fit them all on with the gnomes being there. So I might just... We'll see how much I can fit on, and then we'll try and bring the gnomes back in. Okay, because I know a lot of you really would be quite upset if you couldn't see the gnomes. So let me just do your shuffling, Group 1. What is this portal day, this portal energy, bringing in for you? 22nd of February, 2022. Okay, so see what I mean? Okay, gonna have to move you out a little bit. Okay, so I can't see any matches so far, but we'll probably get some with the second lot being let out. So as I said, what we do is we lay the cards out in rows of 5, and then if there are any matching pictures on any adjacent cards, then we flip the card round to reveal the picture. And sometimes we end up with an awkward situation where there's 2 matching pictures on one set of cards, and so what we've got to do is we've just got to flip it round, note it, and then flip it round again to fit the next picture. So I'm just looking at these cards. I can definitely see a match here with the horseshoe. So you've got an upright horseshoe, because the position of the card is also important, so whether it lands upright or to the left or right or downwards. I don't think I'm seeing any other ones. Oh no, the moon. There's the moon. If during your reading I do miss one, if you see one that's definitely a match, then I do apologize, and just let me know in the comments and I will find the meaning for that particular card in that position, and I'll write it down for you in the comments. Because you got to really analyze the cards. So I think that's all from that row. We'll keep going. See if we get anything else. Okay, what have we got here? Okay, we've got the knot. So far we've got the horseshoe in the upright position, we've got the moon upside down, and we've got the knot also upside down. There's, there you see, so there's the knot in the upside down position, but then we can also turn it around and make the bridge in the left hand position, so we'll have to remember that. And then what else have we got? Is there anything here? Yep, there's the bear. Oh, you're getting lots of pictures today. So the bear in the left position. Let's keep going. Pop that there. Okay. So what have we got here? I don't think I see anything there. Let's do the final row. As you can see, we have very, very little space. Okay, so what have we got here? Any matches? No, that's not a match. Okay, no, I think that's all of the matches. So these ones, I was confused with these two because these look, oh, you can't see them, sorry. These look like a match, but they're not. This is the sword, and then this is the scales. They just look very similar. So let's read the pictures that we've matched up, and then we'll move on to read the final card, which is really important because we read all of the symbols in that card. So the upright horseshoe, that was your first picture that matched up, and that landed in the upright position. So that's called position number 1. So the horseshoe is a symbol of success. And this period of influence is middling. So the different pictures have different periods of influence. So they could be immediate, something that will like affect you in the next maybe day or so. They can be lifelong, they can be short for a few weeks or months, they can be middle, maybe a few months or a year, and they can be sort of long, a few years. So this one's middle, and it says good fortune awaits you in this position. So that's really nice. Good fortune or great success awaits. If you're asking about how a certain idea of proposal of yours will do, and you get this picture in this position, then you know that you'll have success. You could have a decision being made in your favor, like a job application being approved, or just things going nicely and smoothly for you. It's also a green light to go ahead with your plans. So if you're kind of dithering or not really sure of what you want to do, or whether you're quite at the right time to make those changes, then the horseshoe comes up as a green light. Okay, so the portal time is a good time, it seems, to make changes. And interestingly, then as we move on to the moon, the upside down moon, so the horseshoe is number 28, the moon is number 32, for those of you interested in the numerology. Moon is a symbol of peace, and its period of influence is short to middle, so a similar period of time. And the moon in the upside down position says delay in action will work against you. Okay, so as the Russians say, he who hesitates is lost. And this is literally what this is saying. So this is saying it's the right time to make your changes, or to take action, or to do what it is that you want to do. And this one is saying that if you wait too long, if you hesitate because you're afraid or you're uncertain, then that will ultimately lead to worse outcomes. So the best thing to do is to act now. Basically, when we get to the portal period or around that time, the best thing to do is to act rather than wait or dither or put it off until you feel more confident, because you'll miss your opportunity potentially. So then your next picture was the knot in the upside down position. That's number 40. The knot is a period of influence that lasts for a lifetime. So it's the longest period of influence. And it says in the upside down position, you can achieve freedom only by cutting the Gordian knot. So that's something from Greek mythology, where people tried to untie this enormous knot that was really difficult and no one could do it. And there was a prophecy similar to the sword in the stone with King Arthur, that whoever would untie the knot would achieve great things, basically, become king of, so it might have been Phrygia. And Alexander the Great came along, and rather than dither untying the knot, he cut it open with a sword, and he became the king of Phrygia. So it's that kind of message. It's saying rather than spend ages trying to figure out a complicated solution, or trying to appease everyone, or trying to, slowly disentangle yourself from a situation, the best thing to do is just to make a clean break, to make a decision, to take a kind of radical course of action. I get the feeling from these few cards that you might be going quite softly, like you don't want to upset anyone, you don't want to tread on anyone's toes, etc. You're kind of debating a lot of things, talking through a situation with yourself a lot, and basically with the portal date coming up, the best thing to do is use it to make a clean break, is what I'm hearing. So then your next picture was the bridge. Okay, so number 46, the bridge pointing leftwards. Okay, so this is something that influences you from a short period of time all the way up to life. So it can really, really change. And this bridge is a symbol of deliberate change. So in the left position, the bridge says, no matter where you go, the past will pursue you. So you're not going to escape your problems by running away. You need to be decisive. You need to stand up and face the situation rather than trying to get around it or run away from it or pretend it's not there. You need to stand up and face it. Yeah. Okay, so that's nice. What else did we have? The bear pointing leftwards. That's number 15. This is a middling period of influence. It stands for work, effort, and good results. So the bear pointing leftwards means you will get what you desire, although not in the immediate future. So you will get what you want. It's just going to take a little bit of waiting or a little bit of patience in order for that to come in. Okay, so on the whole, this is definitely a very positive reading so far. So often these cards can be a little bit harsh or a little bit doom and gloom, but honestly, you've got some really positive messages. So there's definitely a lot about timing here, isn't there, so far? There's a lot about having patience and knowing that although you need to take the action now, the reward might not come in immediately. So you might feel a little bit low at first, or a little bit deflated, like, oh, I've done this and I haven't got my reward, or, oh, I'm still waiting for the answer to this, or I'm still waiting to hear back about this. But ultimately, it is the right thing for you to do, and you will get that excellent result. So I think that was all of your pictures. And then the next thing we need to do then is to move on to your final card. Okay, and again, I do apologize if I've missed any. Actually, no, I have missed one. This is a missed one. See, there we go. You need to have the eyes of an eagle for this kind of job. So you've got demons there, pointing leftwards, number 47. So let's just read that one. Pointing leftwards, demons is a short period of influence. It talks about subconscious negative thoughts. So demons pointing leftwards says too much unrestrained merriment occurs before chagrin. So basically, if you let yourself go wild and say all the things you want to say and do what you want to do and kind of let your guard down completely, you will ultimately feel a bit sorry for yourself, or you will feel like you wished you hadn't done that, basically. You'll feel like you wished you'd maybe acted in a more reserved way. So there's just this message here of don't loosen yourself up too much, is what I want to say. Like, it often comes in with like debauchery and partying and cheating on people and drinking, which, could be what you're going through, but I don't think it's all that likely that everyone's planning on doing that. So I think for most people, it's just a message of be aware of how your actions may cause you to come across to others. That doesn't mean people pleasing, and it doesn't mean tiptoeing around things to make someone else feel better, but it does mean making sure that you behave in a way that you can look back and think, yeah, I'm pleased with myself. Like, I'm not, I don't feel guilty for behaving like that, or I'm not embarrassed for what I said or did. I'm pleased in the end that I got that done. So behaving in a way that either gives you dignity or that leaves you feeling happy. There's also another picture that I missed down here. You got so many pictures in your reading today. Sometimes literally you only get 2 or 3, but you've down here have got the horse in the upright position, number 39. So lots of stuff going on for you with this new portal period. So the horse is an immediate period of influence, something that happens very suddenly. And this says you will experience a vivid or traumatic life event, and it can be a good or bad experience. So it's basically something that happens very suddenly and it sort of changes your life. So it says in the book that it can happen when people are about to get married or have a baby or get a job, get divorced, get fired, have a house move, you know, something that's kind of doesn't take very long to do, but really changes your life at least in the short term afterwards. So a big event basically is coming up with the portal date. So lots of change, definitely lots of change. And I like the advice that you've received. It's been quite consistent with making sure that you are very decisive in your actions and don't linger. So then let's look now, finally, at your final card. So you have got the Cavalier in the upside down position. So with the final card, what we do is we read all of the pictures in the positions they've landed in, and that sort of summarizes the situation for us. And then we read them all in the upright position to give us the outcome of the situation. So the Cavalier in the upside down position says unpleasant news. Okay, so hearing something that you don't want to hear, or hearing something that annoys you or upsets you or makes you angry. And that's quite a short-term thing, so something that doesn't affect you for very long. Then we've got the fire pointing leftwards, number 44. And that says out of the frying pan and into the fire. So basically, being in a hot situation or a difficult situation or tense situation right now and just immediately jumping into the next one. Like not giving yourself any period of time to sort of process what's gone on or to breathe or anything like that, but just immediately jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. So hopping from one tense situation to another. Then you have the pig in the upright position, number 45. And this says a positive and prosperous happy new year, which is interesting because we've just had the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year change. So this is apparently always a welcome picture. It says that it indicates a very good year for you. It could mean that you get financially a lot richer or just a lot more comfortable in a material sense. The pig represents the material reality. And then your final picture on that card is the owl pointing leftwards, so number 34. And it says your project will be unsuccessful, so something that you're working on that doesn't quite go to plan. Okay, so now let's read them all in the upright position. So we've got the pig already in the upright position saying that you will have a prosperous new year. So this is now going to be your outcome to your situation. So the Cavalier says you will hear pleasant news. Okay, so that's what makes me think that like this unsuccessful thing or this unpleasant thing is like a temporary setback, because you've gotten all of these positive messages of, yeah, just do this, go ahead, you know, make the choice that's right, and then you'll get the benefit, but not straight away, was what we heard. And then we got, oh, you'll hear some unpleasant news, or you jump from one bad situation to another, or one tense situation to another. And that's why I think it feels at first like you've made a mistake, or it feels at first like you're not getting the outcome that you wanted, but then you do. It just takes a little bit of time for that to be the case. So Cavalier says you will hear pleasant news as a result of your situation, as an outcome to your situation. The fire says fire will envelop your heart. So that can be about passion, romance, not necessarily just romantic passion, but passion for a cause, passion for something that gets you fired up. So you know what it's like when you've got an idea or when you've got an interest and you really just can't think about anything else. You're raring to go. You want to put that into practice. That's what the fire is talking about. The pig obviously tells you that you'll have a prosperous new year. And the owl in the upright position says that at the present time you want to act unwisely. Okay, and I think that's really interesting because we've got the owl on your card here, which was urging you to have some respect for authority or for other people's opinions. So it feels like right now, while you're watching this video, there's a course of action that you're considering taking, and it needs to be slightly altered to bring you the outcome that you want. So the message that I'm getting from your reading so far, group 1, is that some decisive action definitely needs to be taken around the portal period time. It doesn't have to be on the exact same day, but around that time. This will bring you a positive outcome, although maybe not straight away. You might feel a little bit like, oh, you know, when's this reward coming? Maybe I've made a mistake, maybe I've made the wrong choice, etc. And then you get your reward. But this choice needs to be made, but there's something that you need to change about it. So I'm going to pull you just a couple of oracle cards, and then we will do your charms and dice, because even though it's a different type of reading, I still think that we should incorporate the charms and dice as well. Oh, wow. Okay, so we've got like 3 cards from this deck all jumping out and wanting to be seen. So we have got Eye of the Needle, intentionality, number 17. So your intention is very important. Netcaster, preparations come to fruition, number 42. What a beautiful, beautiful message. I don't know if you're getting any repeating numbers because I've forgotten, but if you do notice any repeating numbers, please let me know. Garden of Venus, rest and renewal, number 25. So cutting yourself some slack. So this is great. This kind of says to me, moving forward with the right intention means that you get the outcome you desire. So that I do think that there's something about what you're doing currently that needs to be changed or altered. But as long as you're still focused on the same outcome, you will get the outcome you want because your heart is in the right place, is what I'm hearing. Or like your plans are on track with what's right for you. And then once you've made that decision, you can stop stressing and you can just have a little bit of a rest. You might not feel like you deserve it straight away, or you might not feel like you've had the outcome that you were hoping for, but it will come in time. You have a слушаю. Oh my goodness, that's so interesting with your this is a very specific message. Group 1 that you keep getting. So this is the 7 of diamonds. If that means anything to you, could look a little bit like 70 maybe, I guess. And it says я вас слушаю, which means I'm listening to you. This is something that's typically sort of said in Russia when you're just on the phone. Like it's just a basic thing, like almost like saying, how can I help? Basically, you might have a person, if you call someone's office, they might say, oh, я вас слушаю, which means like, I'm listening. Can I help you at all? But here it does seem to be fitting with this message of respecting someone's opinion or input, or listening to them, at least showing them that you've taken on board what they've said, even if that's not what you're going to go ahead with, if that makes sense. It feels like you need to show someone that you've taken on board what they've said, or that you've heard their suggestion, even if you don't go with it in the end. That seems to be quite an important, extremely specific message. Jawbreaker, patience, slow pace, taking time. I mean, that's incredible. Just to reiterate, it's not taking time in terms of action because you were being urged to act swiftly, but it is taking time in terms of that perfect result or that reward coming your way. And then we have first quarter moon in Leo, be humble. Wow. Okay, so yeah, there's something to do with the respect and the humbleness. Like you need to pay lip service to someone, or you need to show someone that you've at least considered what they've said, because that will make it a lot easier to say, but I'm still going with this decision, but thank you so much for your input. It is appreciated. Like there's something like this that you need to do, or you need to take on someone's feedback or someone's comments with good grace and not be like, you're wrong, or attacking them or something. It's like you need to accept what's being said, even if you don't personally agree with it. There's some kind of message there about respecting someone's opinion or respecting someone's feedback or comments. So let's move on to your charms and dice. We'll see what they have to say. I hope that you like these cards as much as I do. I'd love to hear in the comments what you think of these cards, whether you'd like to see them in more readings in the future. Goodness. Okay, So we've got Scorpio coming through. So Leo and Scorpio are the zodiac signs showing up. Obviously, one of the downsides of these cards is that they don't have zodiac signs, which I do like to bring into the reading so that you know it's your pile. But they do have things like the pig, for example. You might be born in the Chinese year of the pig, and then that's a validation for you, an extra layer of meaning to your reading. So what else do we have here? We've got the word hope, which is really sweet. We've also got the mantra charm. So this says Om, you know, the Om mantra. And so I use that charm to mean keeping something in mind. So keeping, whether it's like literally a mantra, like something you chant to yourself, or a word or a phrase, like I am strong, I am brave, something like that that you use. Maybe a line from a song or poem or book even that you say to yourself or think when you're struggling, like to keep yourself back on an even keel. But it could even be just remembering something like, I need to respect what this person says, or I need to show that I've taken it on board. You know, this definitely seems to be part of the reading. I'm sorry I didn't pull these back during the reading as well. There really just wasn't space for them, but I'll pop them a little bit more into view now. Okay, welcome back, boys. So what else do we have? We've got Hermes, or Mercury, showing up here. So Hermes is the god of travel and communication, as well as other things. He's also the god of commerce. So he is showing up for you as a patron, as a protector. You do also have the Hand of Fatima, saying that you're protected from a higher source during this time. So this is definitely very positive and encouraging and validating for those of you that are struggling with the idea of asserting yourself and making these very decisive changes, cutting the Gordian knot, so to speak, and walking away. You're really being encouraged and validated that you are protected and held during this time. You are safe to make these changes and choices. We have the boat here, the pirate ship, adventure, travel, so that connection back to Mercury again, and then the ship's wheel. So another connection, although you didn't get the ship picture in this deck, I use this as being like a compass or like the wheel of fortune. So it always means the tide is turning, times are changing, things are improving for you in some way, the circumstances that you can't control are improving. Things are going to be easier, you're going to be able to breathe more easily, things are going to run more smoothly, you're going to hit less obstacles as you try to achieve what it is that you're looking for. So that's a nice shift that the portal date brings in for you. We've also got Kiss, which is interesting because that brings us back to that fire message about passion. So Kiss is literally when you want to kiss someone as a thank you, or because you're really drawn to them, you know, you're really attracted to them. So there's definitely someone that you have a very positive opinion of as we move into the portal time. There's also the anchor, stability. Okay, security, you are safe, you are secure. Being adaptable with the frog. He's just hopped out of my hands, but being adaptable to new situations, like the frog who can live equally happily on the land or in the water. And then we've got, wow, a worry thread really tightly wrapped around this starfish. So that's, I don't know how that's happened, but the worry thread represents anxiety or worry, and then the starfish represents healing. So there's this real fear around either confronting what needs to be healed and accepting it, or the fear that this might set you back in your healing, this whole situation. I don't think it will, but I'm just acknowledging that there's that fear there for you. And then here we've got the cute little Easter bunny. So obviously we are approaching Easter time, or Ostara, whatever you like to call it. So that could just be a marker of time. I do use it as a springtime marker, but it also means surprises, like an Easter egg, a surprise, something to look out for, something that catches you unexpectedly, but is a positive surprise. It's never anything that's a nasty surprise when we get that charm. So we'll look at your dice now as well, see which set of dice we're going to roll for you. Okay, the first set of dice, the fantasy dice, let me just get those. These ones. And we're rolling 4 of them for you. Interesting. So we have got the flute, which I always use as a symbol of being like drawn towards something or drawing something towards you. So either you're like the Pied Piper who is sort of manifesting and attracting things towards you through the law of attraction or through your own persuasive techniques, or you are feeling drawn towards someone else. Maybe that's where the kiss charm is coming in, or drawn down a particular path, for example, like your intuition that we mentioned earlier. So I feel like the path is correct. The method is perhaps not, or needs a little bit of tweaking. So it's like the destination, that's absolutely where you should be going. You are on the right path there. But there's a need to sort of slightly alter how you get there, if that makes sense. That's the sort of message I get from this rethink vibe in your reading. We've got the sort of castle moat, the entrance to the castle. I always think of privacy with this dice, keeping people out of your private business, maybe not sharing your plans very widely until they are underway, until they can't be reversed. You know, you don't want anyone to get in the way of your plans before you've had a chance to put them into action. Could also just mean that you want to detach from people generally because you find them draining. The tiara is the same as the crown symbolism for me. It means making decisions that are right for you, not allowing yourself to be bullied or coerced. It's sovereignty. It is recognizing your worth and your right to autonomy. And then finally, we've got the two people who are sort of cozying up to each other, who look like best buddies. So there is someone who's supporting you in this, or who will support you. It could be this person that we were sort of talking about with the flute and the lips, or it could be someone else entirely. It could even be your spiritual team or someone in your spiritual team. But there is someone who is very closely working with you, like it's a one-on-one thing rather than I'm calling upon this group of angels, for example. It would be like I work very closely with Archangel Michael to bring about this particular outcome. So that's what I'm seeing there, is that there is someone either in the physical world or in spirit who is helping you very, very closely, and you're aware of that relationship because it's such a close one-on-one relationship as opposed to a whole group of people. So that is what I'm seeing in your reading group 3, group 1. I don't know why I said group 3. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been very, very interesting for me, and I hope you like the new cards as well. Please do let me know. Please let me know what you thought of the reading in general, whether you enjoyed it, whether it resonated with you, because I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Please like, share and subscribe as well if you enjoyed this video. That really helps out my channel a lot and is a lovely way to show gratitude for the messages that have come through today. If you're interested in the work that I do, check out my description box or the comment that I post below in the comments section. They are always full of links. You can follow me on Instagram from there to get access to daily oracle cards. You can follow me on Patreon. Consider becoming a patron on Patreon. I'm clearly just tongue-tied today. I do apologize if I'm just talking nonsense throughout your entire reading. I'm probably going to watch it back and be like, I wasn't even speaking English. So I apologize for that, group 1. I am, as I said in the introduction, going to be making changes to Patreon soon, so look out for that, especially if you're interested in learning astrology. Yep, do consider joining me over there. You can book a private reading or healing session over on Etsy with me. You can donate to the channel if you want to be very generous and kind like the lovely Cara. Then I have 2 wish lists linked below. I also have my PayPal link for anyone who wants to leave a tip or a donation. So you can send a physical gift in the form of a deck, or you can send a small tip or donation if you want to support the work that I do. Everything is very gratefully appreciated and received. So thank you so much to everyone who has considered doing that. And we do still have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestations. If you want to get 10% off beautiful handmade crystal jewelry, use the link below to validate the discount code and then apply the discount code Violet at checkout to get your 10% off your first order. Have a lovely rest of your day. Have a wonderful portal day. I want to know how it goes. Group 1, come back and tell me if you feel like doing so. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. Hey there, group 2, welcome to your reading. If you chose moon phases, then we will be using that as part of your reading, and as I said, we'll be using the Russian Gypsy fortune telling cards to do your full reading today. So let's look first at what moon phases means. in the guidebook. This is my new Aboriginal Dreamtime Oracle. So we're going to use this message as part of your reading. So this card says, our dreaming journey takes us on many different paths, within many different cycles. The waxing and waning of the moon is just one of those cycles. In life, there are many highs and lows, but somehow our lives find balance. Look to the cycles in your life to get a better understanding of what your journey looks like. Learn from the lows and celebrate the highs, then find the middle ground. Focusing too much on either will often create chaos in your life. Okay. And you've got the kind of wallaby spirit there. So let's move on to your Russian Gypsy fortune telling cards. As I explained in the intro, they're very different from your usual tarot or oracle cards because you use all of them to create a reading. So what I'm going to have to do is just pull the gnomes slightly off camera so that I have space to lay them out, because you lay out the cards in rows of 5 and then we'll bring them back in later once we've done the main part of your reading. So group 2, let's see what this portal day is bringing in. 22nd of February. What changes or energies or encouragements is this bringing in for you? And you're group 2 as well, so even more attuned maybe to this portal date than the other groups are. Okay, so we're going to lay out your cards, and what we need to do is look at the cards and see if any of the adjacent cards have a matching picture, because then we can turn them around and then we read that picture as part of your reading. So I can already see that you've got the branches here. So if we turn both of those around, we get the branches picture there. If at any point in the reading I miss a picture, please let me know in the comments if I don't catch it by the end of the reading, because in group 1 I did catch a few pictures that I missed before the end of the reading. But if I don't do that before the end, then please let me know, because I will just look up the meaning and post it in the comments section below. You've got to have really eagle eyes to make sure that you get all of them. Just having a look, seeing if anything will match up on these cards. It's confusing because there are some that are almost adjacent but not quite, they're diagonal. No, I don't think I'm seeing anything there, so we'll keep going. Group 1 got lots of pictures, like really a lot, but sometimes you only get 2 or 3. Okay, so there you've got the cat. So we've currently got the branches facing upside down, and we've got the cat facing left, because the position of the picture matters as well. It's also important to the reading. Just pop that up there now. Anything else? Okay, we'll keep going. Yep, you've got the sword there, facing left as well. And you might not see this bottom row, but I will see it, and then I'll use the final card as important. So we'll be reading all of the pictures from the final card that summarizes your reading, and then you also get the outcome from that card as well. So let me just take a final look at the cards that we've got to make sure that we haven't missed any. Yeah, on this row we've got the heron facing left. You've got a lot of things facing left. Oh, and that just also made you can't see this, but it just also made the house in that position, which is great because sometimes you have to turn the cards around twice. If two cards make a picture, if the same card makes two pictures, you've got to turn them around twice, which I don't really like because it's not as neat. But yeah, that's good that we've got that. Oh, yeah, we'll have to do that here because we've also got the scales. So you've got quite a lot of pictures as well, just like group 1 did. So let's just start going through them and seeing what they mean. Oh, we've got the money there as well. Goodness, group 2, you've got so many pictures. Okay, you've got money there. Hold it up. Money pointing in the right direction. Okay. That should be everything. I might see some more as we go through, but let's just look at what we've got. So the first one that you got was branches in the upside down position. So branches is number 11. For those of you that are interested in the numerology, I'll be calling out the numbers. And all of the cards have different periods of influence. So some might only influence you in the immediate future. So like the next day or so, some might influence you for a lifetime. So this one is immediate to life. So it has a really varied period of influence depending on what position it's in. So in the upside down position, it refers to tears or an offense. So unhappiness due to someone else's hurtful actions. Okay, so there's some kind of conflict going on around the portal time where someone hurts you or someone is kind of maybe upsets you in a way that they didn't think about your feelings. So they say or do something that's hurtful without necessarily meaning to. You know, they just sort of say or do something because it works for them, or they say or do something in anger and then it leaves you feeling very upset, or leaves you feeling maybe completely not considered in that situation. So then we've got the cat pointing leftwards, number 41. The cat is a short period of influence, and the cat pointing leftwards says, having received a blow, you will hide your feelings with dignity. Wow, so that immediately sort of fits in with that first message. So having received a blow, like the cat being scratched, like someone saying something unkind, like, someone doing something out of turn without considering you, you will hide your feelings with dignity. So you won't lash out and get angry or get aggressive. Instead, what you'll do is sort of keep a dignified silence or pretend that everything's okay for the sake of being civil, and then once you are able to get to your own space, maybe then you'll think differently about that person. So the next message is heron, and the heron is pointing left. That's number 17. It's a middle period of influence. And pointing left, it says a change in relation with friends. Wow, so this could be a friend or an acquaintance that hurts you. By friend, I think they mean anyone who's not a family member. So someone who is not related to you. Then dagger pointing left, you will experience a prick to your pride. Wow. This is also an immediate influence. So this is all very short-term stuff. So around the portal time, someone's going to hurt or insult you, or do something that causes you to feel left out, because with the pride message there, it kind of suggests that it leaves you feeling smaller, or it leaves you feeling like someone just didn't take your needs into consideration. This could be something that's happened already very, very recently. It would have to be very, very recently. So not something that's happened maybe a few months ago, but something that's happened in the last few days or weeks when you're watching this, for this to be a past energy. But this is an energy brought in by the portal date. So then we have house down here. This is going to be a few things that you can't see on screen right now, which I apologize for. House is pointing rightwards. It's number 4, and it says the right step will bring you success. So making the right decisions, thinking in a very deliberated way will bring you success. Taking the decisions that are in line with your intuition will lead to you feeling happy. Then we've got the scales short to life influence, and it's upside down. It's number 42, and it says your evil action will have consequences. So this is interesting because it fits, I think, with the house message, especially because they're both on the same card. They're both visible on the same card, so they're kind of related to each other in that sense. I feel like it's saying you want to do something that's aggressive, like in self-defense or in retaliation to what this person said or how this person's made you feel, but you know that that will give you a bad outcome, or you're being told now that if you do that, you will have a bad outcome because other people will then see you as just as bad as the other person, or they'll think, oh, well, they deserved it if that's the kind of person they are. Like, by maintaining the moral high ground, you get the best possible result. So the right step to success, I think, is what you're going to end up taking. And then your final picture that matched up was the money, which is down here, and this is number 29. It's in the right direction, and it says you will find success or profit in an undertaking. So very simply, the portal also brings in the opportunity for success in a situation or for financial success more generally, because the money very simply talks about money. So then we're going to look at this final card. So this is the card in the bottom right hand corner of your reading, and we read all of the pictures on that card in the position that they show up in, and then we read them all in the upright position for the outcome. So in the position they're in currently, it summarizes the situation. In the upright position, it gives us the outcome of the situation. So in the position they're in currently, we've got fish upside down. That's number 33. And that says, in a difficult moment, you won't sink, but will rise to the surface. So that's excellent. That really fits with the message we've received about you. Instead of lashing out, acting with dignity, and that paying off in the long run, or you feeling very happy for how that's worked out. Then we've got pig in the left hand side. That's number 45, and that says your greed will be punished. So again, it's like there's this toss up between, do I act aggressively, do I act in a way that, you know, puts that person in their place or lashes out, or do I act in a way that is dignified and restrained? Because if we think of greed, it's about a lack of control, it's about excess, it's about indulging your feelings or base motives, whereas dignity is about control and restraint and discipline and pulling back and only letting out what needs to be seen. So then we've got the letter in the upright position, number 27. So that says happiness will come to you from far away, like a letter is posted and brings you a smile to your face from far away. So too will happiness come to you from a distance. So it could be news that you hear that makes you happy. It could be a call with someone who's far away that really brings a smile to your face. It could be a message about a job in a new city maybe, or a house in a different place from where you currently live. But happy news will come to you from far away. And then we've got the anchor in the left-hand position, number 35, which says disillusionment with the ideal or doubts. So kind of feeling disillusioned, feeling like maybe someone isn't who you thought they were, you know, that kind of thing. I think that all fit. It definitely seems to fit with like relationships, all of this, apart from the money. The money is kind of separate. So that's the summary of the situation. So now we'll just read the upright positions of all of these pictures to get the outcome of the situation. So the fish in the upright position says fortune, especially on the sea. So that could be the far away thing, travel, someone who is separated because they're overseas, etc. But the fish is fortune. It's more spiritual fulfillment or contentment rather than material fulfillment. But equally, given the fact that you've got the money, I do think there is a windfall coming your way, or there is some kind of success in something you're working on around the portal date. So pig in the positive position, the upright position, gives us positive and prosperous and happy new year. So Group 1 got this, and I think it's really interesting that you both have it, because we've just had the Lunar New Year, the Chinese New Year, and you've picked moon phases as well as your card, so you're obviously in tune with the moon. So yeah, you will have a positive year this year, whether that means the lunar year extending into next February, whether it means the solar calendar year from January to January, or whether it means both. This will be a prosperous year for you. The letter is already in the upright position, so that's happiness coming from afar again. And then if we just look to the anchor. In the upright position, it says success in love. You are loved. So that's a really nice message. So I feel like the overall message is that there is some kind of quarrel or conflict with another person whose actions or lack of action leaves you feeling unhappy, leaves you feeling disrespected or neglected in some way, or like your thoughts weren't taken into consideration, your feelings weren't counted. But even though you want to lash out, you choose to be dignified and restrained and controlled, and that leads you to a great period of success and people to think positively of you and to support you rather than saying, oh, you're just as bad as they are. And there is also some happy news coming and some success financially. So some really lovely messages. We're going to get you a couple more cards and then we will move on to your charms and dice, group 2. Okay, so you have many masks, the authentic self, number 38. I don't know if you're going to get any repeated numbers. I think it's not going to be obvious to me. So if you do see repeated numbers, take that on board. So many masks, the authentic self, showing who you really are, but also keeping some things back. You know, it's what you choose to show to others. Mints, fresh, new, invigorating. So a sense of freshness, a sense of clarity, a new beginning, I guess. I kind of think of the Ace of Swords with that sort of minty freshness, clarity, that sigh of relief, that breath of fresh air, that sudden understanding. Daj pięć. Lovely. High five is what the dolphin is saying. This is the 2 of crosses, if that means anything to you. But high five, I think that again is encouragement of you choosing to behave in the right way. Like, this really feels as though there is going to be an option for you to behave negatively or to behave in a low vibrational way to match the vibration of how you were treated. But you instead choose to raise your vibration. When they go low, you go high. And that gives people a lot of respect for you. It means that people have a lot of time for you. They support you. They see you as the person who's in the right in this situation. And yeah, people feel positive. They want to support you. I've just noticed actually you've got another one. Aha, what did I say about missing them and then discovering them again? There we go. Firewood, number 5. That's in the upright position as well. Let me consult the book. A good state of health. Okay, and that's an immediate influence. That's physical health rather than emotional health. So your physical body is in a good state of health around the portal period as well. That's an extra message. That's maybe positive if those of you are, some of you may be ill or struggling with your health, worried about your health. Your health is going to be well over the portal date period. So then we've got new moon in Taurus, know your worth. So a new moon, like the mints giving this freshness. Know your worth. That really fits in with the have dignity message, because that was what I was feeling, was that you felt disrespected, like someone hadn't recognized your worth or someone had negated your worth by not considering you. That's what I feel it is. I feel it's less about someone saying something nasty and more about someone not thinking or not including you or saying something thoughtlessly, and that causes pain. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I often think that thoughtlessness can be a lot more painful than deliberate malice, because if someone's being deliberately unkind, you can sort of shake it off as that person's just a horrible person. Why would they do that? Whereas if someone is thoughtless, you're left with the feeling of hurt, but you're also left with the feeling of, why did that person not consider me? Why was I not in their thoughts enough for them to be thinking of me and doing what was right for me? You know, so there are some more complicated feelings that arise from that. And also, how can I trust that person again? So we'll do your charms. We'll see what they can tell us. Okay, interesting. We've got an angel feather. So angels are working with you here. They are supporting you. You've got the letter I, interestingly landing on the many masks card. So I, the self. You. There's also the mirror there. The mirror makes me think of like the hermit, recognizing the self, knowing yourself, also about what you choose to reflect, to project to others. So there's very much this sense of how am I being perceived? What do I want others to see from me? So that's a very interesting message that's tied in across the different mediums there. I could also be an important letter for you in general. There might be a word that comes to you, like intuition, for example, or independence. There might be a name that begins with I that comes to you, or that has a prominent I sound in it. Take what resonates there, take what comes through from your intuition. We've got the stars aligning here. That makes a lot of sense with the portal date, some kind of period of time where everything sort of comes together to provide the perfect conditions for something. We've got a little black heart, so love, support, kindness. We've got Om, the mantra charm. Group 1 got this as well. It's really not a common charm to receive either, so that's quite interesting. But the mantra charm comes out when we need to keep a word or phrase in mind, when we need to remind ourselves of something to keep ourselves on the right path. So it could be that you say something to yourself like, I am strong, I am brave, or it could be that you just say to yourself, calm, whenever you feel stressed, and it sort of brings you back in. Or a specific mantra even, like Om Mani Padme Hum. Whatever it is for you that's important. You might like to remember a line from a poem or a song or a book, for example, that really resonates with you. Something that keeps you on track, that you can use to bring yourself back into alignment when you feel frazzled or shaken a little bit. Listen to your intuition, your inner wisdom there with the elephant. We've also got the baby tapir. Now this could be talking about children, children just being a consideration in this situation, but the baby tapir often also talks about a lack of confidence when you want to say something but you don't know how it's going to be received, or you're afraid to speak your mind. We've got pain with the wasp there. I definitely think someone is going to do something that causes you to feel hurt. You know, we've also got the little bird in the bird cage here, feeling like you want more support, feeling alone, feeling, as I said, unappreciated by someone, neglected by someone in that moment. I don't think it's like a long period of someone's hurting you. I think it's like one thing that they do or don't do that causes you to feel hurt. We have the rocking horse. This could be bringing back childhood situations for you. The rocking horse is also symbolic of going backwards and forwards but not seeming to make any progress. Could be a cycle of behavior that's creeping back up again, like the moon phases. I love football. Taking an interest in your hobbies, really plowing yourself into what you enjoy. Treating yourself with the cupcake, enjoyment, fun, indulgence. Give yourself permission to do something a little bit indulgent, a little bit different. Let yourself relax. You've also got the conch shell here, which is a symbol of several different deities. I think of Aphrodite or Amphitrite, Neptune, Poseidon, Mannanon, Vishnu. I'm sure there are plenty more, Yamaya probably as well. One of those might resonate with you. You might have others that you think of when you see the conch shell. But yeah, it's a deity marker for me, but I don't have one specific deity that I ascribe it to. So let's move on to your dice. We'll see what they have to say. So you've definitely got a lot of angelic and divine support. Okay, interesting. We're rolling the first set of dice. Group 1 had this set of dice as well. This is the fantasy dice. So although their reading was very different from yours, you got the same set of dice. And we're rolling 7 of them for you. Okay, so wow. I mean, you've got 2 treasure chest symbols. Financial abundance, yes, but also discovery in a wider sense, bringing me back to that mint message, like I found it, discovery, understanding. You've also got the labyrinth, which is about feeling confused or not knowing which way to turn. So I think that's where the mantra comes in. Very interestingly, you've got the labyrinth, but you've also got the Minotaur. The labyrinth was built to house the Minotaur, to keep him shut away so that he couldn't get out, he couldn't attack people. So it's very interesting that you have both of those because they're from the same myth. But the Minotaur to me kind of comes up as someone who stands in your way, someone who is aggressive or who is hurtful or who basically just isn't very kind to you. So that fits in with your reading. But we've also got the ogre, and this one I use to mean someone that you're annoyed with or someone you don't like or who you would perceive from a like first impression standpoint as not being a nice person or not being someone who's friendly, but who actually ends up being quite kind or who actually is a very good friend or ally to you. So this could be the same person, like you're able to forgive them because it was genuinely an oversight, or it could be that, you know, you've realized you've been judging this person harshly when actually all along you should have been not trusting that other person, and actually this person was actually a good friend to you. So there could be, like the Heron said, this shift in the dynamics with your friends, shift in your relations with your friends. Then we've got the cottage, spending time by yourself, thinking, home as your sanctuary, really connecting to your inner self, and the Moses basket. This is about being safely transported, given safe passage by spirit through an experience, just like a baby sort of floating along the river safely in the Moses basket. So too will you be cradled by spirit as you go through this experience, this sort of given space to contemplate and change and evolve whilst being held and not being able to stray too far into dangerous territory. So that's a lovely message. I always like when that comes up because it reminds us that we're not alone and that we are actually being held as we go through this experience. So that is what I'm seeing in your reading, Group 2. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments what you think of the new cards, whether you'd like to see them again in readings in the future. Please let me know whether the reading resonated with you, because I would love to hear from you as well. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed the reading. That really helps out my channel and is a lovely way to show gratitude as well for the work that I do. And if you would like to get more involved with what I do, if you're interested in my work, check out my description box and the comment that I post below. You can follow me on Instagram from there for daily oracle cards. You'll get those in your feed if you follow me on Instagram. You can head over to Patreon, especially if you're interested in learning astrology, because as I said, there's going to be some reshaping of Patreon soon. I'm going to be pricing the tiers differently and including some new features, including hopefully some astrology learning. So head over there if you're interested in becoming a patron. I'd love to see you over there. You can head over to Etsy and book a private reading or healing session with me. If you're feeling very generous and kind like the lovely Cara, then you can also send a gift to the channel. I have 2 wish lists for new decks. If you'd like to send something physical, or I also have my PayPal link for tips and donations for those of you who would like to leave a small tip or donation towards the work that I do. Everything is very gratefully appreciated and very gratefully received. So thank you to everyone who's considered doing that. And we do still have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestation. So if you'd like to get 10% off beautiful handmade crystal jewelry, then head over to the link in the description. Use that link because that's the link that will validate the discount code. You then apply the discount code Violet at checkout and you'll get 10% off your first order. So thank you so much again for being here, Group 2. Have a wonderful portal date. Do come back and let me know how it goes if you want to, if you have the inclination to do that. I'd love to hear from you. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye. Take care. Hey there, Group 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose Earth Mother as your card, then this is going to be your reading about what's going to happen in the portal date of the 22nd of February. So what kind of energy that portal date is going to bring in for you, what kind of shifts or changes you can expect. So if we just look at Earth Mother, first of all, because I'm using the pile marker cards as part of your reading, we'll see what this means. This is from the new Aboriginal Dreamtime Oracle. So this card says, this is a time when things are feeling dark and ominous, sorry, and it's just too hard to see beyond the depths of your darkness. Don't fear the dark, because dawn always follows close behind. Your darkness is about to end. Prepare yourself for seeing things in the new light of a new day. Each dawn is the opportunity to begin again, so what wonderful things are you going to create? So it feels like it brings about some kind of shift. In terms of your energy overall, you feel a little bit worried or anxious, maybe as we get closer to the portal date, and then once that time has come in, you experience a shift. You feel more positive or more peaceful perhaps, or maybe you've been very worried that you wouldn't be able to accomplish certain things, and this portal date just brings in so much new energy that you start to realize actually it's very much achievable. So I'm going to shuffle the Russian Gypsy fortune telling cards for you. And like I said in the intro, we use the entire deck to perform a reading. So let me just shuffle them for you, and then we'll start laying them out. We lay them out in rows of 5. So I will need to move the gnomes to make space, and then we'll bring them back once we've done most of your reading. Oh, I'm dropping cards. Okay, so we're going to start laying the cards out now, as I said, in rows of 5. I'm just going to move the gnomes out slightly so that I can fit them all in. And we need to be looking for pictures that match up on adjacent cards. So I can already see one, the ring. Okay, so when a picture matches up, we turn around the cards to make sure that it fits. Just looking to see if there's any more there. Don't think there is, so we'll move on to the next row. Oh, there's one there, the heron. See, group 1 and 2 both got quite a lot of pictures in their reading. It's normal sometimes just to get 2 or 3, but they all got quite a few, so I'm wondering if yours is going to be the same. And what we do is we read the pictures that have matched up as part of your reading, and we read them based upon what direction they're pointing in as well. So you've got the ring in the upright position, for example, but you've got the heron facing right. Okay, let me just see if there's any more pictures here. If during any point in the reading, if I miss a picture and I don't come to it by the end of the reading, then please comment below telling me which one I missed, because I will look it up in the guidebook and write down the meaning for you in the comments. In both of the other readings, I've missed pictures while we've been going through like this, but then afterwards, when I've been doing the actual reading of the meanings, I have realized my mistake. So there are, now you see, we've got to turn this round again. This is what I don't like, is when there's 2 pictures on the same card and you've got to choose which one you're going to turn it round for. So we've got the dog there pointing left. There's one. The firewood. Okay, yep, here there's the book. Yeah, you're getting quite a lot of pictures. Maybe because this is a collective reading, so you're getting more pictures than it would be if it was a private reading, for example. So I don't think I'm seeing anything else there. Keep going. Yep, I don't think I see any more matches there, so we'll do the last row. You won't be able to see this row very well. As you can see, it's kind of outside of the scope of my camera, so I do apologize for that, but I will let you know if there are any matchups. So what have we got down here? No, no, no. Nothing there. Nothing there. Here we've got the mountain. So the mountain facing left. So many pictures. And I think that's everything. So the final card is really important in the reading. We'll be reading all of the pictures on this card to summarize the reading and then also to give the reading outcome. So firstly, now let's just go through all of the pictures that have matched up, and we'll read their meanings based on how they've landed as well, what position they're in. So your first one, really straight out with the first two cards of the reading, is ring, and that's in the upright position. So ring is number 25 for those of you that are interested in the numerology, and all of the cards have different periods of influence. So there are some that are classed as immediate, so that means that they affect you for like a day or two, and some are lifelong, and there's stuff in between as well. So this one is middle, so it could be maybe a year or so, maybe a few months. And it says in the upright position, a wedding or agreement. Okay, so a union of two people is brought about by the portal date for you. So union of two people, to me, obviously a wedding or a relationship of some kind, but also going into things like business agreements. So agreeing to, you know, do business with this person, or becoming friends maybe with someone, firm friends. All of that sort of fits in with the wedding or agreement message for me. So then we've got heron, number 17. And heron was in the right facing position. So heron also has a middle influence. And in the right facing position, heron means circumstances will force you to enter an undesirable path. And that was where the heron was. So this is where circumstances mean that you kind of have to do something you don't really want to. So the example given in the book is like the heron that builds a nest on your chimney and forces you to clean your house out of smoke and soot. So circumstances will force you to do something you don't like. Okay, so what else do we have? We've got the dog pointing leftwards, and the dog is number 18. So you got the heron, number 17, and then the dog, number 18. The dog is middle to life in terms of how long it can influence you for. And in the left position, that it says a person you consider a friend is untrue to you. Interesting. Okay, so you feel as though someone should behave in a certain way or say a certain thing, and they don't meet your expectations around the portal date. So it's kind of like either someone shows their true colors in that sense by maybe saying something that hurts you, or you expect them to stand up for you and they don't, or you expect them to do this or not do this, or say that, or, you know, not say that, and they don't meet your expectations. Or you learn something about a friend, maybe from their past, maybe something that they've done while you've not been there, and it makes you see them in a different light, even if it doesn't affect you specifically, like they've not done anything to hurt me. It makes you think differently about them. You don't think of them in the same way again. You think of them as being someone different. So that's an interesting message. Then we've got the firewood in the upside down position. The firewood is number 5. This is an immediate period of influence. And it says in the upside down position, a bruise, cut, or illness. So some kind of small hurt. And it says, remember the Russian proverb, if you knew where you'd fall, you'd place some straw there. So basically, don't do anything that would be silly or cause injury. It basically means, you know, if you could foresee that something bad would happen, don't do it. And I think we can take that in a more metaphorical sense as well. Like if you could foresee that gossiping would come back to bite you in the end, it's probably best not to partake or not to sit there while other people gossip, because then it seems like you're allowing it or like you're complicit in some way. So think through your actions carefully, because I kind of get the feeling group 3 is often my most spiritual reading, and I kind of am getting the feeling that karma is heightened for you around the portal date, and that's partly what the energy is coming in. So when you do good things and when you sort of live from a place of love and goodwill, then you're bringing karma, positive karma towards you. But when you start to get into the ego space, do things that are unkind, do things that are kind of self-serving, that's when you can very easily slip into the more negative space of the ego and bring more negative karma towards you. So then we've got book in the right position. So book is here, book is number 26, and this is a short period of influence, so maybe a few days or weeks. And in the right hand position, it says something that is of importance to you is being hidden from you. So again, it feels like you find something out about someone's past or about something that they've done that doesn't necessarily affect you or that didn't happen while you were there, but it still makes you think differently about them. So there's an interesting recurring message here about you changing the way that you think about another person. I've also noticed that I've missed one of the pictures. So here we've got fish. Haha. Fish pointing in the right direction. So that's fish is number 33. So we'll check that one out now before we go down any further. Fish short to middle influence, and fish pointing in the right direction says if you want success, seek it on the water and not on land, which is very interesting. So obviously we can think of the water as being to do with traveling. Obviously in a traditional sense, this was to do with sailing and fishing and all those kinds of things. But I think we can also look at it in a more abstract sense as well of if you seek success, don't look for it in the land, in the earth, in the material sense. Look for it in the spiritual sense. The water represents the emotion, whereas the earth, interestingly, you did pick the earth mother, the earth represents the material, the financial, etc. So you might be disillusioned with the idea of status or financial success, and instead you're turning towards emotional fulfillment. I can see as well that we've missed another matching picture down here. Demons. That's because I was looking at the firewood. So demons in the upright position is number 47. It's also a short period of influence, and it says, do not listen to cunning whisperings wishing to hurt you. So again, it sounds like gossip is going on. It sounds like someone is maybe trying to sow discord in your relationship with someone by telling you, oh, well, you know, when they were younger, they did this, or did you not know that they said this to me when you weren't there, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it kind of feels from my perspective that it's probably better to ignore it, because even if it did happen, it's in the past, or even if it did happen, it doesn't necessarily affect you, unless it massively changes your opinion of them as a person and means that you, from a place of your integrity, couldn't continue to associate with them or trust them or whatever it is. If it makes you feel really uncomfortable, go with your gut and, you know, don't feel like you have to stay in a situation where you don't trust someone anymore in a friendship capacity or anything. But what I'm feeling is that it sounds like it's being done maliciously, like someone is trying to make you doubt this person because of their own insecurities. So they might want you to reject this person so that they can jump in and be friends with them, or they might want you to have second thoughts about going into business with someone because they've once, you know, done something bad to them. It's that vibe that I'm getting. So I would go with your gut in this situation. I feel like that's what's being advised. So then your next picture is down here. This is the, you can't see it, but this is the mountains that I was talking about. They're in the left position. And the mountains are number 21. So mountains are also immediate. So the period of influence is immediate, so a couple of days. And in the left position, it says, after deliberation, you will make the right decision. So basically, like when you're on the mountain path and you need to decide which step you're going to take, because the mountains in this deck symbolize danger. So it can easily be that you fall, lose your footing, end up down a treacherous path, there's an avalanche or something. But in this position, what it's saying is that you'll have a think and then you'll make the right choice. So that's exactly what I was thinking when I said go with your intuition. And I swear I didn't know what that card meant, because I don't think I've ever pulled the mountain before in any position. To me, the mountain kind of symbolizes success, or at least a journey, a quest to achieve something, even though that journey might be difficult. I didn't necessarily think danger. But yeah, definitely go with your gut, your intuition. That sort of visceral reaction will tell you a lot, I think. It will tell you what you really thought of this person to begin with. Because if your visceral reaction is, yeah, get away from me, then that kind of tells you that something in your intuition was guiding you against this person anyway, if that makes sense. But I do think this is coming from someone who wants you to, as I said, cut ties with this person for their own selfish reasons, or to be unhappy in whatever kind of relationship you have with this person for their own selfish reasons. So that's what I'm seeing from the pictures. We'll move on now to your final card. So this final card in the deck is important to the reading. So we're going to read all of the 4 pictures in the position that they've landed, and then we're also going to read them in the upright position. As it happens, you've actually got 2 pictures already in the upright position. So the first one is this one, number 38, the lady. This is a short period of influence. So in the upright position, the lady says, a soft feminine hand will support you in time. Okay, so that's a helping hand from another person, usually a woman, or at least someone who handles something in a very tender, gentle, considerate way. Then next you've got number 15, the bear, and the bear is in the right facing position. So bear says your efforts will bear fruit. I like that it says bear as well. Your efforts will bear fruit in the right hand position. Then in the upright position, we have the moon, number 32. And it says, although your life is uneventful, you have happiness nevertheless. Which makes me think again that all of this kind of feels like a storm in a teacup. So although, you know, it seems like the cards are making a big deal out of it, I feel like it's something that once you look at it objectively, you kind of have your answer already. You know what you want to do. It doesn't affect you for too long. Like in some of the other readings that I did today, there were quite a few cards that indicated long-term influence of the cards, whereas for you, you've mainly got immediate or short influence, which means, you know, a temporary short situation. So then your last card to summarize, the last picture is the hearse in the right side position. That's number 8. This is also immediate to middle. And in the right hand position, it says a loss of condition, although only temporarily. So again, it's like you feel helpless or restless or confused or unsure or insecure. You lose that sense of stability, but only temporarily. So that's what I was saying when I meant storm in a teacup. It doesn't mean that it's not something that feels big at the time, but it's something that you're able to nonetheless overcome. Okay, so we'll look now at the upright positions for all of the cards for the outcome, because that was the summary. Oh, actually, you've got another card. Aha, ha, ha. Look. Horse. There we go. So horse, number 39. You see what I mean? It's so difficult to find them all at first. The longer you look, the more you find. So horse in the left-hand position says, hold the reins firmly, otherwise you will stumble. And again, it's an immediate influence card, so it's something that happens in a short space of time. So hold the reins firmly, otherwise you will stumble, basically to me means keep a close eye on the situation, be careful of how you act, deliberate carefully, otherwise you could make the wrong move, or you could say something that you later regret, or do something that you don't really mean. That's one of the most positive positions of the horse card, because the horse is usually about upheaval, emotional upheaval, or feeling trampled upon somehow, but that one kind of says that you've got a good chance of riding out the situation without being in any way damaged. So back to the outcome. Lady in the upright position says a soft feminine hand will support you in time, which we got already. The bear says with caution, happiness will not elude you. That's nice. Again, that message about caution and deliberation that's been coming through. The moon again says, although your life is uneventful, you have happiness nevertheless. And then the hearse says sickness. So that can be anything from like a long-term condition to a small cough or cold. But that's something that's also on the horizon. And to be honest, I feel as though that's possibly almost like caused by stress, if you know what I mean, or exacerbated by stress. Sometimes we feel a little bit under the weather, and then when we're stressed about something, it tips us over the edge and it becomes a full-on cold, or we feel a lot worse. It takes us longer to get over it. We become a lot more susceptible to illness, to cold, to stress, to feeling run down, to tension when we're already feeling stress or when we're already struggling in that sense. So just be aware, give yourself that time for deliberation so that you're not spiraling, because when you're under stress, your immune system is suppressed. So that is what I'm saying from these cards. We're going to get you a couple of extra cards as well, and then we'll move on to your charms and dice. So, really, really interesting messages. What I've loved about all three readings is that they've all seemed to focus on like one situation. Like it hasn't been like, oh, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen, and they're all separate. It's been, this will happen because of this, and this will affect it, and you'll feel this way about it. Like I've really liked how it's all pertained to one situation. The Crossing. Initiation, number 54. Wow. So a real new beginning. Initiation kind of makes me think of learning, knowledge, discovery. Moving up a level. Wow, Stupaya Starozhna. That's a perfect card. No, it's the 13 of diamonds, if you can see there. Kind of looks a bit like 130, if that makes any sense to you. But Stupaya Starozhna means tread carefully. So literally, it's deliberating over your steps. It's not acting like making a snap decision. If you learn something that you don't really like, or if someone gossips to you or spreads rumors or, you know, even lies about another person, I would advise you around the portal date not to act suddenly, not to have a reaction in that sense. Just sort of let the feelings settle, look at it from all angles, and you'll be so glad you waited rather than just jumping in with accusations or ultimatums or, you know, you can't be my friend anymore, or we can't do this anymore, etc. You'll honestly be so glad that you waited to decide what you were going to do more calmly. Two cards from this deck. So you have Candy Cane, Regenerate, Replenish, Winter, and Peanut Brittle, Careful, Mindful, Observant. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Okay. So yeah, the word careful is definitely coming out a lot. Deliberate, осторожно, careful, observant, mindful, all of those things. Regenerate, replenish, winter. I mean, we are still in winter if you're in the northern hemisphere when we have this date, but regenerate, replenish to me is kind of like taking that time to let your energy settle and then coming out with your decision or coming out with that that action. But I also feel it fits in with the Earth Mother, because the Earth Mother is obviously pregnant in this card, and we mentioned it was a transition period from a period of darkness, winter symbolically as a time of darkness and death and a lack of opportunity, into something better and brighter. And so you might be very much in tune with the solar cycles, because again, if you're in the northern hemisphere, we're coming out of winter and into spring, which is literally that shift from darkness to light. Or it could just be something that's happening for you personally, but that's a really lovely message, I think. So we'll get one more card and then we will do your charms and dice. Love, love, love the cards you've gotten already. Wow. Okay, full moon in Scorpio, breathe through the tension. I mean, how perfect is that? Group 3, you've literally been told, tread carefully, deliberate, let your feelings settle before you choose what to do, because if you know, there's that saying, isn't there, act in haste, repent at leisure. It's that kind of feeling, like you give yourself no time to decide what to do because you have a reaction, and then you've got all the time in the world to regret that choice. So keep that in mind when something happens that is threatening to give you quite an emotional reaction. That should help you stay in check. So let's look at your charms now, group 3. Well, very interestingly, you've got the Christmas tree and also the Father Christmas. So 2 winter time charms are coming out there. You've also got the Death charm. So, you know, that message of change and transition, but also that sense of it being a symbolic winter for you, not just the winter that we're in the Northern Hemisphere, but a symbolic winter where it feels like it's been dark for you recently, where it's felt like there's been a lack of opportunity. You've struggled to be optimistic about the future. You've struggled to look into the long term and have that vision of what you want to achieve because everything's kind of seemed a bit hopeless or a bit futile. Now you get that positive mental shift, like the 6 of Swords, where you start to breathe more easily through the tension. You start to feel more relief, more clarity, and more optimism. So here we've got the worry thread that symbolizes worry or anxiety. We've also got the passport, so travel of some kind. That could fit in with the message about the fish, about seeking fortune on the water. But the passport can also mean connection to other languages or cultures, or being physically at a distance from someone else. We've got the compass, the ship's wheel. This is the Wheel of Fortune charm for me. This means that the tide is turning, times are changing, the external circumstances that you have no control over are now changing in your favor. We have the Manta Ray, which is a perfect charm for you because the Manta Ray is saying go with the flow, play it by ear, tune into your feelings, and basically just go calmly and go steadily like the Manta Ray who bides his time on the bottom of the ocean floor until the right opportunity comes along. We've also got the teddy bear here, sentimental, nostalgic, emotional, comfort. It's interesting because I kept saying this is something that someone did in the past when there was nothing in the cards to say that. So I do think it's possibly something that is revealed about someone's past, or may even be a lie about someone's past, maybe even the far past, like their childhood or something. Or possibly it brings up stuff from your own past, like it triggers something that happened in your childhood, and still you start to feel a little bit more vulnerable because of that, and that might be why there is a more of an emotional reaction. And then we have Kuan Yin's charm. Beautiful Kuan Yin, goddess of compassion, mercy, and peace. So again, all of that gentle energy coming in. Kuan Yin could be this soft feminine hand that is tempering the situation for you. The Divine Mother. So let's see what your dice have to say. Beautiful charms. Okay, we're rolling the second set of dice for you, the original dice. These ones. And we're rolling all 9 of them for you. Great. So okay, so you've got the scales, that's Libra's energy there. Obviously, we got Scorpio come through as well. Libra's energy is also telling you again with the scales, balance things fairly. Don't act out of emotion, act once you've deliberated all of the sides, when you've worked out what you want to say or do. The abacus also worked out the truth of the situation. Abacus always makes me think of working out, and so we've got working out and weighing up. Okay, we've got the footprint, following in someone's footsteps, following someone on social media. It could be something that you come across on someone's social media page. It could be a fear that someone is turning out like another person that you don't like, or that they start reminding you of another person. You've got the shadow self here, fear of your shadow, fear of your past. There is definitely something that is triggered about the past here, whether it means that it's from that person's past or yours. Notice as well how that's come out around the devils, the demons, in this particular layout of the reading. We've got the lock as well, and we don't have a key. So when the lock comes out by itself, I think of a mystery, or I think of something that has been kept secret, or something that has been hidden, but also something where you don't have all the information. And I think that's why it's so important for you to not act emotionally, because you don't have all the information, and for all you know, you could have got the wrong end of the stick, or the person who has told you something about this person is lying or doesn't have all the information themselves and is just stirring. So really be careful about how you choose to act. We've got the tent, which represents a temporary situation, something which doesn't last forever, and that's what the cards have been telling you as well, that this is like a temporary blip, or it's something that unsettles you for a few days, even a few weeks maybe, and then you get back to normal and you realize it really wasn't that important. We've got the person who is smiling. Looks like a bit of a brave face smile, but it just proves that everything's going to be okay. We have the house here. Again, it could be connected to the family, because it's landing on the branches as well, the branches picture, which is symbolic of the family tree or relations that you have with other people. So it could trigger family memories, or it could be the family getting involved. And then finally, we've got rainbow blessings. So blessings showering your life. I feel like, honestly, this is something that, like with the initiation card, it's something that's almost like a little test. So it's like something comes through to test your opinion of someone. It's like someone's trying to test you to see how much you actually like that person or trust that person, or the universe is sending you this little situation to see how you deal with it. Are you going to react? Are you going to be emotional? Are you going to kind of throw everything you've learned through your past to the wind and just, you know, revert back to a more unenlightened state? Or are you going to react calmly and coolly and from the higher vibration, from the moral high ground, essentially? What's going to happen there? And I feel like ultimately you're going to have a lot to be grateful for by the end of this. And I really think it's something that wraps up very, very quickly. Like this happens in the space of a few days or the space of a few weeks. So that is what I'm seeing in your reading group 3. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know whether you liked these cards and whether you'd like to see them in more readings in the future. Please let me know in the comments as well whether you enjoyed the reading, whether it resonated with you. I would love to hear from you. Please do like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed the video as well, because that really helps out my channel, and it's such a lovely way to show your gratitude for the work that I do. And if you are interested in the work that I do and you want to get more involved with me, then check out my description box and the comment that I post in the comments section below. They are always full of links. So from there you can go and follow me on Instagram if you would like to get daily oracle cards in your feed. You can book a private reading or healing session with me on Etsy. You can head over to Patreon, especially if you're interested in astrology, because I'm considering setting up an astrology tier over there. I'm currently reshaping Patreon. The tiers and pricing is going to change. It hasn't changed in the 2 years since I set it up, so it's long overdue a bit of a shake up or an overhaul. So that's something I'm working on now. but I'm thinking about including a tier for people who want to learn astrology on a kind of bi-weekly or monthly basis. So definitely stay tuned for that. I have 2 wish lists linked below for those of you who are feeling very generous like the lovely Cara and would like to send a donation to the channel. If you'd like to send a physical gift, that is, I have tarot and oracle decks linked in the wish list, but I also have a PayPal link for those of you who would like to leave a small tip or donation. Anything is very gratefully appreciated and very happily received. So thank you to everyone for your kindness in considering doing that. And we do still have a discount running with Modern Day Manifestations. So if you'd like to get 10% off beautiful handmade crystal jewelry, then head over to their website. The link is below. Use that link because it's the one that will validate the discount code, and then apply the discount code Violet at checkout and you will get 10% off your first order. So thank you so much again for being here. Group 3, have a lovely rest of your day and a wonderful portal date as well. Please do come back and tell me how it went as well. If you are inclined to do so, I would love to hear from you. And yeah, take care of yourselves and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.